I'm CM Coleman and welcome to Make It Monday. Today on Make It Monday we're doing something different. We're not doing something edible, we're making Christmas ornaments. These are cinnamon Christmas ornaments. They'll help your house smell wonderful and they're really easy to make. Let's get started. We'll need 1.5 cups of ground cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of ground ginger. Now, once you have your ground cinnamon and ground ginger, you want to add 1 tablespoon of ground cloves. Then we're just going to get ready so that you have the glue all prepared, and then we'll add a cup of applesauce. Make sure that you get as much of the applesauce out. You can always add more applesauce if your mixture is too dry, and you can add more glue. Then you're going to mix it up. And we're going to speed this along so you don't have to watch this forever because it does take a long time to mix it up. But we mix this slowly. If you do not, you will notice that you will have a huge powder of cinnamon all around you. So we mix, we add more glue as needed, and then we make this into a ball. Once you get it to the point where it is in the form of a dough, you want a fairly thick dough, then you can take it out of your bowl and clean your fingers off as much as you possibly can, and then you're going to flatten it out. Now here's the trick. I wet my hands down, and that way I could spread it out. Wet hands make this so much easier and give you a smooth, very smooth texture, because then you can take your hands and flatten it out and make it very, very smooth, which is really cool. So then once it's all flattened out and it's about 1/2 inch thick, you're going to take your cookie cutter, and it can be any shape that you want it to be. I'm using the traditional gingerbread man shape, and I also smooth it out as I'm cutting it through there. And so I smooth, cut, and then cut again, because the cool thing about this dough is very, very forgiving. So then I just peel the dough away, I pull the gingerbread men, or I should say cinnamon men, up, and then I place them onto my tray. Now my tray is lined with parchment paper just so that nothing will stick, and the thing which I want you to remember if I don't show it, is that you need to poke a hole in these so that you can hang them. I put a hole right in the middle, which sort of made them look like cyclopses. Now I'm going to take that dough again and then combine it together so that we have a nice thick dough, and we're combining it so that flattening it out. My hands once again are wet so that way I can make it nice and smooth. Once it's smooth, I then use my cookie cutter again to cut out more gingerbread men or cinnamon men once again. I'm doing this on a piece of marble, which I use on my cutting board, which is really handy. If you have to, you can move your dough around so that way you can have a nice area to cut out, and it's very forgiving. Trust me, this is super forgiving. So then you pull up the pieces that you don't need, move your cinnamon men over to your cookie sheet, your lined cookie sheet, and then you put them in place. And then once you've done your next, you don't have to worry about people eating this, because remember, once again, this is not an edible idea. These are going to be then just ornaments. Once again, flattening out the dough, and I don't know how many you'll get out of this. I got quite a few, but it just depends upon how much of the ingredients there are and how wet it is that day. If you have a very humid day or moist day, it was sort of cold here but not raining the day that I made these, you might not get as much. Then what I did is I took the little pieces that I'm going to make, I think, one more, and then I'm going to take my pieces and then just cook the pieces and break them up and put them into just a dish. So it's super simple. Anybody can make this, and it's really great. It smells wonderful. So all you need is 1.5 cups of ground cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of ground cloves, 1 cup of applesauce, and 3 to 5 tablespoons of white liquid glue. And that's just going to depend. Now, you can always add more, or you can add less. It's up to you, but those are the ingredients that you have. If you have something else that you want to add to it, great. Do it. Experiment on this, because it'll make your house smell great. After 2 to 3 hours in the oven, your ornaments are done. They should be really dry, and they should be nice. This is one which just came out of the oven. Now I can tell you a few things. One of the things that I can tell you is use your wet hands to really smooth these out, because I have some which were not smoothed out in wet hands, and I'll show you some close-ups of these, which were not smoothed out with wet hands, which have a more rough texture. The ones that were smoothed out have a nice smooth texture. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, click like. Down below you'll see a button for my subscription. Every Monday we have Make It Monday, where we'll be making something. Tuesday and Thursday are recipes. Wednesdays where we'll talk some baking discussion. And then on Friday, it's a free Friday. It could be anything. You can also check out some of the other things that I've done on my channel. And once again, make yourself at home.